How's it going? My name is Thomas, and this is my deliberative speech on why the ranged archer playstyle on Rogue in Diablo 4 is better than a melee playstyle. What is Diablo 4? So Diablo 4 is a top-down RPG strategy game created by Blizzard Entertainment. The game showcases many different classes and playstyles to choose from, such as the devastating barbarian that dishes out damage from close range, to a druid who can transform into various animals, and even a stealthy rogue who is capable of destroying their enemies without leaving a scratch on themselves. It's pretty fun. Diablo 4 was recently released a few days ago, and it is highly likely that some of my classmates will be playing this game. So if that is the case, I find it beneficial to share my wealth of knowledge for the Rogue class in hopes to help you become more successful in Diablo 4. Also add me on the game. For this video, we are going to be going over why the ranged variant of the Rogue class in Diablo 4 has far more quality of life benefits than its melee counterpart, the melee dagger build. We won't be touching on the melee dagger build too much. We're going to solely focus on the archer playstyle. Quality of life for the archer rogue. The archer playstyle of the rogue class has many benefits that the melee build does not have, such as the ability to quickly deal damage with the use of ranged attacks, traps, and frost-based abilities that allow the player character to freeze and slow enemies, voiding the player character of the ability to take damage and allowing them to dish out a massive amount of damage. First and foremost, we're going to go over frost imbuements. Frost imbuements are a type of damage modifier that applies a frost-based modification to your basic ranged abilities. So just pulling the bowstring and shooting, the frost imbuements will enhance these arrows to freeze your target in place, slowing them and not allowing them to attack back. The use of a bow or crossbow. This playstyle allows you to deal damage from afar, negating the staggering odds of death that you'd face far more often if you played the game within a melee range playstyle. In addition to this, we have the use of traps. Using traps as an archer rogue allows you to keep enemies at bay and as far away from you as possible. The traps allow you to deal damage, poison enemies, and slow their movement speed drastically for a large period of time. The overall benefits of using this playstyle is the mitigation of damage that could be caused to you if you are playing in a melee range or close proximity. Hardships of the melee rogue. So the melee rogue is usually played closer to the enemy. What this does is it causes you to take increased damage because the enemy has an easier time hitting you, knocking you down, and it could kind of make it difficult to negate damage, causing you to have to heal yourself far more often. The melee rogue is also very item dependent in Diablo 4. Your player character progresses with the use of items that help bolster your overall damage and mitigations. The melee rogue is highly dependent on items in order to function properly. As opposed to the archer variant, you can basically just get away with having items that are not the most ideal and still deal a massive amount of damage without the risk of dying or causing your health pool to drop to a very low margin. Some research that supports this playstyle. In John Harris's book, Exploring Roguelike Games, he discusses the player's need for distant ranged attacks in order to be successful in a roguelike top-down game, stating that it can be very difficult to survive a situation if the player does not have the means of distance-based attacks. That is from John Harris, published in 2021, in the title Exploring Roguelike Games. In another article that was written by a professor by the name of Ben Weber, who studied at the University of California, his article is titled Reactive Planning for Micromanagement in RTS Games, which Diablo 4 is an RTS game. Ben discusses the needed use of harassment in order to keep enemies away from you to form a method of escape. Harassment takes various forms. One of these forms is traps. So the use of traps causes like a crowd control. It slows enemies, poisons them, and keeps them away from you, mitigating damage. These forms of harassment can take many forms, such as traps. Ben states that harassment enables a player to kill enemy units while incurring minimal damage, which is what we need. That is from Ben Weber in his article Reactive Planning for Micromanagement in RTS Games. So if you're not sold on the idea yet that the Archer Rogue is better than the Melee Rogue, let me demonstrate. And I got disconnected from the game. Okay. So here we are on Diablo 4. We're going to run up to a pack of enemies, and we're just going to pull them all to us. And look at how much damage I will incur by standing by them. Taking damage, see my health is already lowering. This is the problem that a melee rogue faces. So if I just drop a trap, throw this down, use the frost imbuement we discussed earlier, and shoot the target, see the target was frozen, it mitigates damage, and the targets do not come after me. Very easy. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope you have a great day.